Metalloids. Metalloids are a category of elements that possess properties of both metals and nonmetals. So this is very important to remember about metalloids. They're somewhere in between metals and nonmetals. Metalloids are used extensively as semiconductors for having an electric conductivity between that of a conductor and an insulator. So that means a conductor is something that can easily transfer electricity or heat, and an insulator is something that can slow down that transfer or stop it. So semiconductors are in between that. And metalloids make good semiconductors because they have properties of both metals and metalloids. They are located in a part of the periodic table starting around boron and calcium, and usually you will see kind of a step ladder that falls down, and those elements that are around that step ladder are usually metalloids. Sometimes they are not considered. Sometimes there is no ladder there, so you don't know exactly what they are. So you have to remember some examples of them. And here are some examples. Silicon and germanium are actually examples of metalloids because they have properties of both metals and nonmetals. Here are some picture representations of silicon and germanium. Notice that they do kind of have a luster to them like metals do, and they are solid. So these are examples of things that can be metals, but when I use them as when I use their properties, they are properties that fall in between metals and nonmetals. So remember, their location is actually between the metals. After the metals, transition metals, then you start getting to the metalloids, and after the metalloids, right after the metalloids, starting at around nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and chlorine, that becomes nonmetals. So it's a very easy layout in the periodic table. You have, if I to draw the periodic table, so periodic table, you have metals here. In the transition metal area, you have non-metals here, and then in between in this area right here, you have metalloids.